Well, it's good that they're finally trimming the trees in the park, right? Once you get the hang of it, it works quite smoothly and effortlessly. Nice hub cover.
Yeah, nice you had some time for us now.
Can be manually opened. And down here we have the 12 o'clock mark. I'm familiar with it from the 911 up here. Oh, that's actually the 6 o'clock mark, so it's not 12 o'clock but 6. Okay, got it.
That's something different, not so black or white.
Yeah. Kind of a shame, right? Anyway, what we're really lacking is the essential ability to install a roof rack. That's why I chose the new MG4 Trophy Extended Range with a 77 kWh battery in fizzy orange for its unique and eye-catching style. It really stands out on the road and reflects my personal taste. We don't have a roof rack here, and unfortunately there are no openings available to transport any type of roof load either. What will that have? 12 inches, it feels like. One could argue now, is that big enough? Is that small enough? Feel free to write in the comments if there's any aftermarket solution with approval. Exactly. Unfortunately, my pants don't match the outfit. It's a bit of a shame, right? Yes, we unfortunately didn't find anything on roof load. However, there is supposed to be an optional trailer hitch with a braked and unbraked towing capacity of 500 kilos.
But okay, overlook that.
We didn't find the nose weight either, but it's obviously a great thing to transport a small garden trailer with waste or something similar. Yes.
Even 500 is better than nothing.
Or for the friends with the bike rack, so you can easily take 1 or 2 bikes on the back for your next adventure. Accept and then continue. I didn't actually use it much anyway. That's definitely a cool story too. Absolutely, we've shown you everything outside. I think navigation systems and infotainment are really taking a backseat, especially with options like the MG4, which offers more advanced and user-friendly technologies that enhance the driving experience. I'll demonstrate this right here in one take so you fully understand how it really works. Then you can easily go ahead and start using wired, Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Is it perhaps even the main car for many people because you can probably undertake good long-distance journeys with it due to the high range, right? Real-time traffic provides value. Yeah, otherwise we have nice tactile quick selection buttons below and always the home button to return to the main menu.
I would say so, yes.
So everything is actually made so clearly. Yes, manual air vents are great too. You can adjust them blindly while driving. There are also 2 discs connected by a foil, but that doesn't have to be a criterion because we have many vehicles. Sometimes I find it better to adjust it accordingly rather than deal with all this touch and fiddling with functions. Imagine how long it takes to adjust the ventilation on a stiff touch display while driving. Yeah, I can't deny that. You're absolutely right. Then we have an inductive charging pad for the phone here, but it's missing a clear edge. If you fully unleash the power of our drive, the phone might fly around. We'll show you later the importance of having a secure boundary to keep everything in place. Already in the test, some with single glazing sometimes had better values than those with double glazing. Gear selector, electronic parking brake, then we have USB-A port and USB-C plus a 12V socket, have 2 cup holders. If not, we'd appreciate your support with a subscription, then you won't miss the second video. And now let's get started with the MG4 Trophy Extended Range. And as always, we'll start from the outside, starting from the front. Here's a large storage compartment, look, with a roll-up cover. Take a look at the MG4 Trophy Extended Range. It features rear-wheel drive, a big battery, and a great fizzy orange exterior, which stands out beautifully. The vibrant color and sleek design really make it a head-turner on the road. I think that's really great. A, as a privacy screen, and B, because then you could theoretically place your smartphone right down here if you wanted to. You know what I mean. That the individual contours of the car, here the lowering of the hood, the large MG logo, which sometimes comes under a bit of criticism because it might be too large. Here we have another small net where you could easily put a charging card or other random bits and pieces. But then there's also the separation here with the apron, the stylish vents, and here but also a bit more prominently on the side of the car. And then we have here another nice storage compartment lined with faux leather, where we can store a few more things. Sure, if needed, you can always get a piece cut at the hardware store to fit perfectly, right? And then let's talk about the suggested air curtains indicated here. That whole setup looks much better in a different color, creating a contrast. Wouldn't you agree? But I know some friends who are sitting a bit closer here. Wait a minute, I need to adjust the steering wheel. which can be adjusted in height and distance. These friends sitting more towards the front have mentioned that their seating comfort is a bit different from those in the back.
Yes, if you want to repeat it again.
Wow, look at all this space now. I also think the signature of the daytime running lights, the LED headlights, stand out much better on the fizzy orange than on a dark grey or black car, for example.
Yes, now you've got it tidy. You can sit here and relax now.
Yeah, the manufacturer simply just doesn't do that. Welcome to the lovely interior. Right, but since I'm sitting way in the back, way at the bottom, nice and relaxed, I don't have any problems with this thing here. That's truly great. We have a flat-bottomed and flat-topped steering wheel, which I find absolutely awesome, especially because it gives us an unobstructed view through the big and wide window. The A-pillar is clearly visible thanks to this small side window, improving the driver's line of sight. Yes, when you get that close. What dimensions do we have here, Stefan? 18 inches, but let's quickly move the camera away, show the car in full, because then this manhole cover style completely disappears and we get this 55 rotor design from the look, so from. Exactly. That's probably also the point from McLaren where they say, on one hand, we want efficiency, we want maximum range, but on the other hand, we also want a nice rim design, which means we just have to move further away from the electric cars and see if the rims look better or what.
Yes, you definitely need a good run for that.
I've heard there are more cyclists than electric car drivers. Yeah, having a full and unobstructed view is definitely super handy and helpful. The beautiful openness of the center console here and the, as I personally see it, very, very beautiful detailing. Sporty seats, that means we have proper support for the thighs here. Here's another small elevation, I don't even know what it's for. Yes, the only thing I can't quite understand is why, at a price of 45,090 euros, the passenger seat still remains manually adjustable.
I don't know. I was wondering earlier too.
Didn't make it to electrical then?
Cable's all set.
The Chinese are likely in the front and back seats of the MG4. Perhaps we can indeed open it. I'm really curious to see what might be inside. And then down here we have black plastic, which has a kind of carbon fiber look to it as a detailed relief. And the height adjustment for the passenger seat is also somewhat an Asian problem. True, I find it visually very, very good. But to be honest, if it were glossy black, right?
Yeah, what could be the reason? Is the glass too thick or something so it doesn't detect it?
So guys, I just don't get that at all. Like for me, it's seriously a complete no-go that MG and all other Asian manufacturers really need to consider making some changes. I don't know, it's actually been like this ever since the MG4 came out. I probably just don't have the patience or the right sense of pressure. That would rock because then you'd have that sleek high gloss fizzy orange effect, making the design really pop. Share your thoughts below. Painting the plastic black shouldn't cost much and could really enhance the design significantly. It will supposedly be a user error. That might indeed all be true. Yes, and then we basically have a kind of navigation system right here. I just think it's really cool. Yeah, what I also find really cool is this split rear spoiler, which is also designed to be air permeable. That's just hard plastic, just like down here. Up here it's a bit soft and foamy. Adjust the ventilation here, I think it's good. Very high quality floor mats with proper carpeting. It should help a bit to ensure that the air swirls better around the back of the car to optimize the drag coefficient. And I usually end up using the Google Maps function for navigation because honestly, I feel it's the best option available to ensure I reach my destination accurately. And here we have the nicely integrated third brake light, which I have to say I somehow really miss a lot. Am I really sad? Is that like a shark castle?
As if you are really sad. It unfortunately escalates.
Yeah, but seriously, right? I know a lot of you aren't interested in the whole shark castle thing. But why is it that a large manufacturer like MG can manage to do it while others just can't? What's very nice is the black headliner. It also matches this fizzy orange-black look. Then completely black in the interior. I have to say stylish. Also here with the pilot sunglasses compartment from Top Gun. Maybe I'm missing a glass roof. I don't know if that's available as an option. So that means the other manufacturers probably think it's still cool with the clamping closure, or yes, and a stylish element, yes, very nice. What we also have are LED tail lights, highlighted here again a bit, then again with the MG logo, which is becoming more and more trendy. The sales figures of MG in Europe are, I think, at least satisfactory. It can always be better. And what I also find cool are these LED elements on top, because you just get the feeling that MG really puts in the effort in terms of design. Here is the GPS antenna for the Draghi. This is very important for measuring acceleration. And not just plop a car there and say, hey, buy it, right?
No, they do have some little gimmicks that are pretty cool, yeah. I would rather see a sunroof then.
It's stylish, no? Have a wheelbase of 2.70 meters, a height of 1.51 meters. It could almost go a bit lower, don't you think? Yeah, because up there, with our fast-paced driving style, it's always extremely dangerous.
Maybe?
Right? Yes, also very nicely done, lined with some rubber so that nothing rustles or rattles. And we want to try that out with you together. Getting started here flows very smoothly, making for a relaxed and enjoyable beginning. He's sitting here like he's in Abraham's bosom, but today without the center armrest? Yeah. We have a rear-wheel drive with 180 kWh of power, 245 horsepower, and 350 Newton meters of torque.
They do say.
You can't criticize that, because in my Tesla Model S performance Raven of its time, range indication is probably a good 425 kilometers in reality. Whether that actually works out with 74 kilowatt hours net, we'll have to try it out, right? There was no center armrest, and it was a car priced over 100K. I would have really liked it because it greatly enhances comfort and usability, especially with children and bigger children. But we see that in the consumption gauge, when we have the consumption at 100, 120, 140, 160 km/h, you can mathematically calculate that quite easily. Adults here in the back, I think it could massively increase comfort. And if you then build the center armrest, as a small tip for a facelift, maybe also include a pass-through for skis or a long item from the hardware store. 180 kilowatt power on the rear axle, 6.5 seconds, 0 to 100. Let's check it out, all right? 180 km/h top speed, we'll check that out in the second video too, all right? And now let's see if it has a frunk under the front hood, and yeah, unfortunately we're disappointed there too. Because of this little rod here, I would have preferred just 2 hood latches. At least it's insulated here because there's some climate technology and such. And if we look through here, Stefan, just look from the other side or from here, then there's quite a bit of space, which means if you...
Yeah, although I think it might already get a bit tight, even here a bit tight.
If they had laid the pipes and cables a little differently, I would guess, there would have been enough space for a small Frank.
How long will you run this cord? To the center console?
Yes. Isofix attachments on the driver and front passenger sides. That's exactly why we still promote the Franks. I know some of you really don't care at all, but those people just seem to never care about anything. Always. Let's go and hear how that particular sound... I find sufficient lumbar support, light shoulder pads, and a nice soft headrest that, however, does not have a comfort function and can only be adjusted in height. Why? Because most people read about electric cars, simply use them for a certain period, 2, 3, 4 years, and then sharing the performance is a bit unsexy and not very convenient. He starts at that price, then in the standard version from 169 euros, which I discovered on various comparison portals on the internet. That's really quite sad. And what I also miss a bit back here, but of course you have to bear in mind, because we know that electric car manufacturers frequently provide regular updates to continuously improve their vehicles. Observing the vehicle class are merely air vents, so probably located in the footwell, to provide a little bit of circulation back here. Example BYD, which consistently releases a new model roughly every 18 months. But right now in the peak of summer, like today with 30 degrees, it's of course kind of a bit unsportsmanlike back here.
That's pretty bad to experience. They don't exist. I can adjust the backrest. Yes. What's here?
In that particular case, it might actually make more sense to lease or finance such a car. Yeah, let's take a look in the trunk. What I really miss here, I have to be honest, is the electric tailgate. But the door entry, well, to be quite honest, it's more like the kind of plastic you would usually find in a delivery van. So,
I don't think so.
Classic follows. I'd say we've shown you everything outside and everything inside. Let's hop in and give you an in-depth driving report along with a detailed and comprehensive test drive experience. Let's talk about the turning circle. At 10.6 meters, it's maneuverable and easy to handle, especially in tight spaces. For many of you, this is important and a key criterion in the city, enabling you to navigate narrow streets and have a quick turning option, which is crucial in urban driving where space is limited. But I don't really think so. Or maybe for outdoor sports enthusiasts, a sunroof might be an option. Yes, a big shout out to the colleagues at MG4. Please consider adding it in the next update to make the car more convenient and enjoyable for users, enhancing their overall driving experience even further. We have here, on the one hand, then of course we also have a rear view camera with guiding lines. Yes, 363 liters of trunk volume I think is quite appropriate for the vehicle's overall size. Let's see if it works well or not, but somehow it has a bit of a fisheye lens effect, don't you think? Bigger is always possible, but I think this is a nice flat loading area here.
Yeah, that's right, it crops a bit. And whether you can trust the lines, that's another thing entirely.
Let's test folding down the seats and see exactly how much more space we can actually gain. Yes, especially the red line, if this is the bumper here, then it is also very, very carefully removed, right? The question with compact cars is always, can Olli with his 1.85 meters and his phone like 99.9 kilos sit comfortably in the back seat? Yes. So you really have to take a closer look. Of course, we also have ultrasonic sensors installed here. They even have a front camera and a 360-degree system. What do you think? That's cool, because that's not a given here in the class either, but we always look as if we're looking through a tube.
Well, either take everything out or heave it up.
Exactly, that's why I find such a frunk interesting, because we can just open the hood at the front, take out the cable, and use it accordingly. If you have cyclists, it's really super convenient. Yes, we'll stay in one continuous take and also want to try out the cobblestones here at Hohensiritz Castle with you all, just to see how it feels. Yes, we can fold down 40% of the passenger side here, and with the double load floor, we also have a flat surface. He's doing a pretty good job, right?
Quite sufficient.
You could fit the dresser from the father-in-law in there, right? On one hand, the ride comfort, and on the other, the noise, right?
Absolutely.
Here again, we have this hard plastic. Yeah, I don't know, they could have lined it with felt or something. There seems to be something coming from the roof edge, but other than that, everything is nicely secured in place. What they've done nicely here are the backrest seats. So here, nicely with a pocket, up here with two small pockets where you can put something in. Yes, you can control the energy recovery in weak, medium, strong, and adaptive. Adaptive simply means that the vehicle actively supports you in deciding whether to coast or to recuperate. We've now activated the one-pedal drive mode, providing that one-pedal feeling where it maximally recuperates energy for smoother, more efficient driving. Yeah, otherwise just put it in energy-saving mode. That might be nice if you want to save some energy on longer trips, making sure you maximize efficiency. You have a driving mode, you have snow, which is important so the rear doesn't slide out on ice and snow, or even in the rain. Then there's an eco-driving mode where the car really tries very hard to achieve maximum efficiency. You've got the normal mode where he can actually keep up pretty well everywhere with 180 kWh. Why is it that we really can't just use the same material mix in the back as we do in the front? Up front we've got nice faux leather, and here is just, ouch, hard plastic, right? Even in the curves you have a nice, tight, comfortable suspension, allowing you to drive briskly. That's actually all quite okay. And around here and downwards we then have the armada of hard plastic, which is neither insulated nor soft. And here you hear it rustle and rattle more. It's just missing a little carpet or maybe a rubber mat or whatever you think fits best. Then we can take it. Now of course we're a bit limited by the speed here. But these are just some really nice roads that are a lot of fun to take when you're driving around in such an incredibly sporty and agile little compact car. For those who are looking for even more excitement, they can even opt for the all-wheel drive version of the MG4. I think it has 434 horsepower. We've made 2 videos for you about it. It really takes off. The MG4 Trophy Extended Range, and here we have the classic MG4 cockpit, which we have always liked for its intuitive layout, premium feel, and comfortable seating.
It's genuinely quite a whole lot of fun. Seriously.
Yes, and if that's still not enough for you, you can also customize it here to perfectly fit your needs. Yes, what we lack is a head-up display. I'll say again, yes, it's unusual for this class, it doesn't exist. So you can decide, should the engine be sporty, the steering comfortable, the pedal force normal or sporty, and how should the energy recovery be? So MG always offers maximum choice to consumers. The chassis handles corners swiftly and efficiently, providing confidence and control in various driving conditions. If there isn't someone like Varo ahead eco-fying the area, then we could cruise along nicely, enjoy the scenery and relax here while taking in the fresh air and feeling at ease. We barely notice any swaying or tilting motions here. I truly think MG picked an excellent suspension setup, enhancing driving comfort and experience. And that's not just a coincidence, because MG belongs to SAIC Motor. SAIC Motor, which has been in the industry for decades, is the third largest car manufacturer in the world. Yes, that's right. Well, the advantage here is that we want to have a 180-degree effect, because if you're driving out of a narrow entrance or something and there are pedestrians, Toyota remains the largest automaker, with the Volkswagen Group following closely. And then ZEG comes in, who among other things also do contract manufacturing for Volkswagen and others in China. Yes, multifunction here nicely with tactile buttons and this kind of rocker switch. So therefore, we are dealing with a very, very experienced car manufacturer. And you can really tell this because the panel gaps are absolutely spot on, the paint quality is top notch, and literally everything fits and works perfectly somehow or other. As you would naturally expect in a high quality car. Ready for the launch?
Of course.
Do a countdown.
3, 2, 1, let's start and enjoy this moment.
Let's take a nice pothole, Crabums. It handles the suspension comfort quite well. And there he goes. Speeding up and out 30, 50, 70, 90, 100, and we have a fantastic test track right here where we can also thoroughly test the brakes and see how the car handles in different conditions. So there's really no room for any interpretation here. We've switched the MG4 to the sport mode because we want to take you on a brisk and exciting country road drive and also accelerate quite nicely from time to time right here. And that's where the Fit truly steps up its game. Let's take a close look at our Draggy to see the performance values we've recorded during today's comprehensive testing session. Even the rear end comes around, giving maximum punch on the rear axle for a thrilling and exhilarating drive. Very nice. So I think you could even, if you really wanted to, drift a bit with the MG4, although it might take some practice to master the technique.
Awesome.
What we don't have is a launch control system. Do we miss it, Stefan? I don't really know.
Not in compact class.
I think for essential uses that's totally sufficient. I don't think so, but it would be nice to have. Nowadays you can program all of that comfortably with modern tools, making the process efficient. Yes, we'll stay on this route because we have a nice serpentine stretch here, perfect for thoroughly testing the suspension of the MG4 and ensuring everything is working smoothly and as expected. You push it a little bit over the left front wheel, but that's totally normal. We also have some nice road bumps, which the 1.8 tons of empty weight handle really well, but it's just nicely firm and comfortable, yes?
He handles incredibly well on the road.
What I truly love about it is it doesn't slam a bump into your spine.
That's very handy.
Here too, we're getting through the curve nice and smoothly. So I really have to say MG has come up with something really decent for the MG4 here. This is great fun and truly enjoyable, really giving you a strong sense of security. We can turn the air conditioning on and off, adjust the volume, use the hazard lights, control the front ventilation and rear window heating. Absolutely.
3, 2, 1, let's get started immediately.
This time, no foot on the brake, just pressed hard on the accelerator. 50, 70, here it's a slight uphill 100 and no one is behind us. We can do another brake test to ensure everything is working fine. He's showing maximum power again for the second time. Building trust in this process is essential for relying on the equipment confidently and ensuring it meets your needs. Beautiful, open, bright interior. And if you're sitting all the way in the back, like me, there's no problem with legroom here either. And it has acceleration from 60 to 100 in even 3.19 seconds. That's a good value too. So therefore, I think the MG4, even here in the standard class, offers pretty decent and solid values, don't you think? That they then sometimes get a bit caught on the edge right here, you know? You really have to say the 180 kilowatt, 245 HP, even going uphill here, that truly puts the power to the road.
He's doing well. Above all, I'm really impressed by the brake. It grips well.
But that's how it has to be, right? We want to measure the interior noise with you at 50 km/h. 57, 58 decibels. That's a very, very good value indeed. Now let's go ahead and speed up to 70. A look through the passenger door again shows the very, very nice ergonomics here, especially when I'm sitting all the way back. Very low, combined with the steering wheel. 61, 62 decibels, that's also excellent. Just for comparison, the competitor ID.3 is at 70 decibels and we accelerate to 100. 68, 70 decibels. Just for comparison, the ID3 is around mid-70 decibels. I've activated the assistance systems and now we'll test the lane keeping assist. 0 to 50 in 2.88 seconds, 0 to 60 in 3.48 seconds, and 0 to 100 in 6.83 seconds. And that comes damn close to the factory specs. Oh yeah, try it out on the country road. I know it's actually meant more for the highway, but this is our designated test track where we've tried out almost all the cars over time, and unfortunately it just doesn't manage to stay in the middle of the lane. I constantly have to correct because I certainly do not want to give any oncoming traffic the impression that I might be about to leave the lane at any moment. So, in my opinion, MG should or can definitely improve on that. Nowadays, things like this can certainly be done via over-the-air updates. However, when driving here on the country road, it works only semi-optimally. What we have in place is a traffic sign recognition system. Now it should display 70 km/h on the screen. Our hands are on the wheel, which it detects properly, but the selected speed remains the same. That means there is no adaptive speed change feature in this MG model. When the system detects a speed limit sign, it automatically adjusts the adaptive cruise control to match the new speed, ensuring proper speed regulation. And we definitely don't have any predictive. Predictive would be the anticipatory speed adjustment that we are already driving 70 km/h at the sign. I find that a bit unfortunate. Because in 2024, many manufacturers can do that. The cars of the VW group can do that, like Audi, Skoda, Cupra, Volkswagen itself, and of course also Audi and Porsche. And of course BMW and Mercedes too. And I would have thought that side motor, through this cooperation with Volkswagen, this particular technique, right? Yes?
It would have definitely been nice.
What we must praise in any case is that the MG Pilot, that's what the system is called at MG, does a decent job in this vehicle class and this price segment, I think. So a genuinely decent steering assistant, a decent lane keeping assistant, a decent adaptive cruise control. As I mentioned, the room for improvement is always a bit tight up there, but I would definitely trust MG to close it. Wouldn't you agree?
I think so too, yeah?
Not bad, right?
Proper, but it seems generic or unbranded, lacking identity.
Yes, 0 to 50 in 2.87 seconds, 0 to 60 in 3.46 seconds. And from 0 to 100, 6.65 seconds, this time verified as it hit its absolute maximum values there. That's not no name, that's MG. Yes.
MG.
But I have to say, it has a really nice deep bass, and honestly I even like it a little bit better than the Harman Kardon sound system in the Renault Scenic that I tried out just the other day. To be perfectly honest with you guys, you know what I mean, right?
It's true.
So, in-house sound systems like those in Tesla cars don't necessarily have to be better or worse than well-known brands. We have to pass through Neubrandenburg on our route, and we'd really like to give you a detailed idea of the typical city consumption over those 3, 4, or even 5 kilometers as we make our way through Neubrandenburg's urban environment, so that you really get a thorough and detailed sense of just how efficiently you can actually drive an MG4 in a typical urban setting. In the second video, which will be released in a few days, we'll be testing highway consumption at speeds of 100, 120, 140, and 160 km/h, so you really get a good impression, can get a very good overview of what the MG4 for fuel consumption figures. We drove through the town of Neubrandenburg. It is precisely 7.3 kilometers. I didn't think the route would be that long. We've got an average speed of 42 km/h. So it fits for city traffic and a consumption of 9.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So if we extrapolate that to the 74 kilowatt hours net, then with a full battery, we would manage 700 kilometers in the city. That's definitely a decent value, right? It certainly is. And it also kind of disproves the people who claim, well, no, I can't possibly drive an electric car, as they believe it's not practical. Because I don't know, I can't charge at home, and so I understand that too. It's also not easy if you can't charge at home with parking by streetlights or using fast chargers at the supermarket or station. There's always some reason why something doesn't work, but I think it's definitely not about the consumption, because if I'm just commuting within the city for work, and then it's 700 kilometers, right? And I drive 30 kilometers a day, maybe as the average German, then I can go for about 20 days with that. So then I just need to charge it like once every 3 weeks, right? Let's move on to the interim conclusion with the MG4 Trophy Extended Range. Yes, when you first look at the purchase price alone, which is 45,090 euros, that's quite a gulp from the electric car bottle, isn't it? Yes.
That's already quite a bit more indeed.
Equivalent to 180 kWh, 245 horsepower, great acceleration, 180 kilometers h top speed, a large battery with 77 kWh, allowing us to theoretically achieve up to 700 kilometer range in the city during summer. Over land, the whole thing kind of balances out a bit. Because now, I want to show you this one last thing. We've driven 68 kilometers and here we have 16.1 kWh per 100 kilometers. Uses that as the final recorded value since the last charge. And that also includes our acceleration runs along with everything else we've done. So I think you can already move the car efficiently. Moving away from the gross list price, there are attractive leasing terms and various favorable financing conditions to consider, where the purchase price is then relativized into the monthly burden. I think that's a clever solution because electromobility will evolve significantly in the coming years, making it an attractive option with many benefits. Maybe not buying the car, but choosing to rent it instead for a set period and paying accordingly, offering more flexibility and convenience. Yes, we actually found relatively few weaknesses overall. Sometimes there's a slight mix of materials used here and there. Yep.
No noodles at the back end.
Exactly, okay.
But rather small arguments, really, that you kind of just overlook.
Exactly. So from that perspective, I think it would be interesting for you to maybe watch the second video with the consumption drive and the charging check to deepen the insights gained. That's where the overall conclusion comes in. Or if you're really excited, check out the over 100 MG partners in Germany. Maybe take a test drive, see the car in person, and experience its interior, comfort, and driving dynamics. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video with the MG4 Trophy Extended Range. I hope you enjoyed the video and give it a thumbs up. Please check if you're part of Simply Electric and feel free to support us with a subscription. That way you definitely won't miss the consumption drive and the charging check with this car. I say thank you very much for watching. Stay healthy and see you soon. Yours, Stefan, this fizzy orange J. So that already looks fancy, but it is a solid color. It's not metallic or anything like that. Yes?
I don't really know for sure. Have we concluded what fizzy really is? Or is there still something unclear?
No, but I know that it costs an extra 650 euros. That's chic. I also find this fabric leather combo with blue stitching in the front stylish. We have a USB-A at the back. Twice it didn't work either. I also find that a bit unfortunate because, sure, there is a Y adapter, but we sometimes need a bit of power on the USB ports.
No.
was, ja. Guter Raumklang.
Das ist eine namhafte, ne?
Ey. Eklige.